Osaka, full of life, full of soul, full of flavors. As I walked through the streets, another thought was echoing in my mind. Something about language, identity, and how we Filipinos connect, or don't. At least the way the Japanese connect with each other. You see, everyone here speaks Japanese. Why, even the kids speak Japanese. Well, that's because it's their first language, their mother tongue. Homeschool, government, media, it doesn't matter where you're from in Japan. You can turn to anyone and speak with ease if you speak the language. That common mother tongue, it builds a certain unity, a shared rhythm in society. Back home in the Philippines, we're different. Filipino is the national language, yes, but for many, it's not their mother tongue. That got me thinking, hey, what's the mother tongue of the majority of Filipinos? Meaning 50% plus one as our first language. Was it ever English? Was it ever Spanish? I don't know, but it looks like the answer to that is there's no one language that is or was ever spoken as a mother tongue by a majority of Filipinos, even up to now. Nothing like Nihongo is to Japan. And this is because there are 100 plus local languages in the Philippines, and even Tagalog or Filipino is said to be below 50% in terms of the mother tongue of Filipinos. Of course, nowadays, Filipino is still the top majority language among Filipinos, even if it's spoken as a second or third language after Bisaya or Ilocano, etc., rather than a mother tongue. Our trip to Japan speaks of this reality of Filipino being an accepted majority language. We could more or less guess who was Filipino by what they spoke among themselves, even if it was not Tagalog but another local language. But after overhearing them and engaging with them in Filipino, there's that spark of, uy, kababayan. You instantly bond, you start feeling close. We were happy to meet them and they were happy to meet us, even though we were total strangers in a strange land. Now that was the power of language. So yes, Japan shows what a shared first language can do, but the Philippines shows something just as profound, resilience through multilingualism. We adopted to colonial layers, Spanish, English, without losing the heartbeats of Bisaya, Kapampangan, Hiligaynon, and more. And now we speak Filipino on top of that. That's strength. But did you know it was also a challenge for Nihongo? You see, that unity wasn't always smooth. Japan went through its own centralization, dialect suppression, even militarized nationalism. But it went through that through centuries, rather than the decades that the Philippines went through. Still, what emerged is a country that sees its language as a guardian of its cultural soul. In Osaka Castle, we saw busloads of Japanese students going through a tour, young people who could connect instantly with their past through their language. It was not anything foreign to them. They could see their culture and language through their eyes as a lived experience. In Japan, preserving language meant preserving tradition, the Shinto rituals, samurai codes, Edo-era records. Without Japanese, Japan's heritage would be locked away. In Osaka Castle, they don't just attract tourists, they teach. The walls, the moats, even the museum exhibits inside are filled with centuries of Japanese writing and storytelling. These places feel alive because they speak the same language as the native people walking through them speak. And then I thought of the Philippines, of Intramuros, Fort Santiago, Vigan. We also have stone walls, old churches, colonial houses, and on many of them, Spanish. Inscriptions, dedications, prayers, written in the language of our colonial past, yes, but also of our early nationhood. These places are full of stories too, but fewer people today can read them in their original form. So I started imagining some more. What if Japan had done what we did? Completely abandoned the language of its history. Well, we'd call that cultural amnesia, right? But in the Philippines, we've normalized it. In tours of Philippine landmarks or in just a lot of social media or history books, the language is of the Spanish presence, as if Philippine history under Spain is just Spain's history in the Philippines. Actually, that's literally what other books really say. They'd rather not talk about Philippine history under Spain because, according to them, it's just Spain's history in the Philippines. It's not Philippine history. They don't like to dwell on our history under Spain. They don't claim it as our own. Our own history, written in Spanish. It's conveniently tossed away as some useless relic best abandoned. But fortunately, there's a new generation of Filipinos who are curious again. Spanish classes are making a quiet comeback. Digital archives are being translated. Historians are starting to read the revolution through its original Spanish voice. Now, why does it matter? Because identity is not just about what we speak now. It's also about understanding the language of our ancestors, the ones that they used to fight, to dream, to write themselves into history. This is not about bringing back Spanish as an everyday language. We are realistic and pragmatic here at Los Filipinos. To us, it's about recognizing Spanish as a heritage language, a key to our archives, our monuments, our history as a multilingual people that ties us to our historical monuments and to our past. Both Japan and the Philippines treasure their historical landmarks, but in Japan, there's often a clear thread between language, culture, and place. In the Philippines, we're also reconnecting slowly with our layered past. Some tips for Filipinos visiting Japan for the first time, like us. Of course, the problem with Japan for us Filipinos is that Japanese is really a foreign language to us. In our trip, we use Google Translate to read the Japanese inscriptions. We just point our camera and out comes the translation to our screens. But that needs internet access, so we got a temporary portable Wi-Fi from Ninja Wi-Fi so that we could connect multiple users. It's easy to use. You just subscribe and pick up the device at the airport of your destination that you booked. It's got its own charger, which is perfect for long trips away from charging stations. Plus, you can simply drop off, as in literally, the device back at the airport where you got it through a Dropbox. Also, I got my own mobile eSIM subscription from Aerolo for a couple of days, which is super handy when we got separated and couldn't contact each other. In the crowd, you literally can't see far ahead of you because of the volume of people. Of course, when everything fails, you can always try your telecom company. For me, it was Smart and we were able to contact each other when everything failed. Although, of course, there were overseas charges. By the way, these aren't paid ads, just sharing with you what we use, as our Japanese was very limited to almost non-existent. Oh, by the way, if you're looking for a place to stay, I suggest you book a hotel near
Gothenburg
and Kuroman Market. We stayed at the Hotel Trad Replay. Plus, some of the hotel staff are Filipino, including at the concierge desk. And we were instantly right at home, speaking Filipino among ourselves. Plus, if you're in the Kuroman Market, look for Wagyu Musashi. They have 2 Filipinos working there, very pleasant and welcoming. We didn't feel like strangers at all, speaking Filipino. Had a great time. And of course, don't forget to visit the beautiful cathedral at Osaka Takamatsu Cathedral, St. Mary's Cathedral in Osaka. There are English masses there, and there's a large Filipino community in Osaka right there during mass. The servers and lay people there didn't even bother talking to us in English. They just straight away assumed we were Filipinos and talked to us in Filipino. As we attended mass there, I couldn't help but think that the reason I was actually here in this cathedral in Osaka was because of the Spanish influence and the Catholic faith of Filipinos. Even right here, I felt at home in a foreign land, surrounded by Filipinos talking my language and worshipping as we usually do on a Sunday. Otherwise, if not for that, I'll have to say that Japan is an alien culture to me. I am literally an outsider looking in. But in the presence of Filipinos, I felt at home in the company of kababayans. Strange, right? Or perhaps not. We are Filipinos after all. Anyway, so much for that. But going through Osaka taught me this. Language doesn't just tell stories. It says something about who we are and how we connect with the present and with the past. And maybe it's time we listen a little closer to the ones we almost forgot. Here at Los Filipinos, we think Spanish should be declared a heritage language for all the reasons we've just discussed here. But that's us. How about you? What do you think? Well, thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, hit like, subscribe, and let us know what part of our history you'd love to reconnect with. Viva Filipinas! Vivan los Filipinos!